Hi guys, welcome to my channel IBwontcrushyou, and today we are dealing with equations from number and algebra chapter, and let's get started. Problem number 1, solve the equation x to the power of 2 equals 49. And I know that you can simply solve it on your GDC in solver, but make sure that you can solve it in the other way, because sometimes some more advanced tasks require you to have this skill. So make sure you understand basic concepts, and it's not that hard. So x squared equals 49. We have to take just square root of both sides. So we multiply both sides by square root, and we can rewrite it like this. So square root and the power, they cancel out. So x equals 7, because square root of 49 is 7, but also keep in mind that not only 7 squared equals 49, but also x equals minus 7. This sign means that or you use it when you in mathematics when you have to say or. So this is or, and it is very important that not only that x equals not only 7 but also minus 7, because both numbers to the power of 2 are 49. Problem number 2, solve the equation 3 cubed equals 125. So this is very similar to the previous problem. However, we have x to the power of 3. So we have to multiply both sides by the cube root, just to cancel out the power. So we have something like this. And the cube root and the power, they cancel out. And we can simply calculate cube root of 125 from our calculator or GDC, and it is simply 5, because 5 times 5 times 5 gives us 125. Now we have problem number 3, solve the equation. And I know that you can solve it simply on your GDC in solver, but you can solve it faster by your own when you know the whole concept. Because you see that we have two brackets, and between them there is multiplication. And the answer is 0. Two brackets multiplied by each other, they have to be equal to 0. And we know that any number multiplied by 0 is just 0. So our first bracket has to be 0. So x minus 4 has to be 0, or our second bracket has to be 0. So we write or sign, and x plus 2 equals 0. And when we can change the places of our numbers, so move minus 4 to the right, so we change its sign, so x equals 4, or x equals minus 2, because we move positive 2 to the right, so we change its sign, so it's minus 2. So our x has to be 4, or x has to be minus 2, this or this, because when we have x equals 4, our first bracket is 0, so it doesn't matter whether the second bracket is positive, negative, or also 0. We have for sure 0 in our first bracket, so it's enough. And in the same way, if we have x equals minus 2, our second bracket is 0. So no matter what we have in our first bracket, our answer, our final answer, will be 0. Problem number 4, solve the equation. And now we have quadratic equation, and we can solve it using delta and then looking for x1 and x2 and then having two answers. But it will take a lot of time, and we can just solve it using our GDC. So we can type it into solver or to the graph, and we will have the answers. And these are our answers. If you're interested how to solve it using delta, you can reach me out in comments, and I will make another video for solving quadratic equations with delta if you find it useful and helpful. And these are our answers using GDC. Problem number 5. Use your GDC to find all real solutions of. And we have the equation, and we just type it into solver or graph, and we will have all the answers, so all the x's. And these are all the x's that I found, and I hope that you found the same x's, because this is our final answer. Problem 6. Use technology to solve the equation, and we have to correct it to 2 decimal places. And we need our GDC to solve it using solver or graphing it in graph, and we will have our final answer. So this is what I got from solver as well as from graphing it, and x equals 3.30, correct to 2 decimal places. Now in problem number 7, we have to solve the equation. And yes, we can solve it on GDC, but I want to show you how we can solve it in other way, by your own. So firstly, we need to divide both sides by 3. So if we divide our left side by 3, we have x to the power of 2 over 3, and our right side is just 4, because we divide 12 by 3. And now we have a fraction in power. And to cancel out this power, we have to rotate this power. So 3 over 2, and we have to give this power to both sides. So if we have x to the power of 3 over 3, and then we give also 3 over 2, so these powers cancel out, because finally we will have x to the power of 6 over 6, and it's just 1, so it is x to the power of 1, so just x. And here we have 4 to the power of 3 over 2. And now we can rewrite this power as 3 times 1 over 2. It is the same. And we know that 1 over 2 as a power, it is just a square root. So we can rewrite it like this. and to the power of 3. So x equals 2 to the power of 3, and finally our answer is 8. And also it doesn't matter whether you firstly take the square root of 4 or multiply it 3 times, so to the power of 3, because you can do it in this way, or firstly you can have 4 to the power of 3 and then take a square root, so it will be square root of 4 times 4 times 4, and it is 64, and we know that the square root of 64 is just 8. So the same. Now in problem 8 we have to solve the equation, and also we can solve it simply by using GDC, because we don't have any other way to solve it. So we're using solver or graph. So I got x equals -1, and if we want to check it, both sides of our equation will be equal to 2, so this answer is our correct final answer. Problem number 9, some real-world example. A ball is thrown upward, its height in meters after t seconds is given by, and we have a formula for height, and we have to find when the ball hits the ground. So first thing first, we can type it into graph and see what our GDC will draw. Your graph should be very similar to this one, and on y-axis we have h, it stands for height, and on x-axis we have t, which is time in seconds. And also one important thing is that we are starting from 1 meter, because our y-intercept is 1, and we can also see it from our function. It is the number that has no t next to this number. So it is our y-intercept. Our maximum height is in here, and we have to find when the ball hits the ground. So when the h is 0. So it is, we can see that it is not exactly 4. We have to find it on our graph by taking root. Basically we can graph it and then click gsolve and then root. So it will be t equals 4.05, or we can solve it in solver, that our function is equal to 0. And don't forget about units, we have seconds. Problem number 10, solve for all values x when. And we have equation, and then we have if one solution is x equals 2, find the value of k. So basically the first thing that we have to do is just substitute 2 into x, and it is 8 minus 2k equals 0. And now we can put it into solver or graph, and our final answer will be k equals 4. And that was the last problem. I hope that you enjoyed and found this video helpful and useful. Thank you so much for watching. You can leave thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also leave a comment if you have any questions or doubts, and see you in the next video. Bye!